So I'm back out here working on this blanket chest that I'm building for my mom. I have it all nicely dry fit here. I finished up the pin boards today. Now I'm going to move on to building the false bottom for this, which is probably going to be some type of frame and panel situation. I haven't really settled on what I'm going to do yet, but before I move on to that, there is something that I want to show you. This particular blanket chest actually has two bottoms. There's a bottom for the entire case, and then there's a false bottom that sits in this portion right above the drawer right here. That's the one I want to focus on right now. Now that bottom is going to sit in a groove that will be routed along the inner wall of this case. Now, when I normally do that, I will do it at the router table and reference the bottom edge of the case. Now, on this one, I'm not going to do that because the distance from the groove, which we'll say is right about here, to the bottom edge of the case is variable depending upon which side we'll be routing. That's not fun. Instead, I'm going to use the top edge as my reference edge because the distance from the top edge to the groove is the same on all four sides. So after I cut my dovetails, I take them and I put them on the edge of my pin board, and I make sure that the edge of my pin board and the edge of my tail board are perfectly lined up before I mark up the location of my tails on the edge of my pin board, right? Do that every single time. Except when you put the joint together, it doesn't always line up. Take a look here. You can see that this top edge is just a tad higher than this top edge. Now, because I am using this edge as a reference edge for routing the groove for the bottom of this, if I route the groove and reference this edge and then this edge, the groove from this board to this board will not line up, and my bottom will not be able to fit. So before I take this apart and take it to the router table, I better make sure I have a nice continuous edge right here and don't have any mismatches like that. The way I'll take care of them is by using a hand plane. I'll plane around the top edge, making sure when I turn a corner, I keep the sole of the plane on both edges. Now when I do this, I'm going to be taking shavings in some places, I won't be taking shavings because of these mismatches. Once I take a full shaving around the entire top edge, I know that everything is cool and I'm good to go. And here I am planing the edge. Here I'm turning the corner, and as I turn the corner, you can see I'm keeping the sole of that plane on both edges. I'll do this on all boxes and cases that I make before I go and route them. Everything works out great.